Greetings, beloved. Hi, it's Dr. Amanda Noelle, and you are watching this video because your twin flame is married and they are in a karmic relationship and you are gritting your teeth like, what is going on? You want to know how to handle this really intense situation. This is no fun. I know how it can feel to be waiting for someone to come back to you, and time keeps going, and the longer it goes, the more crazy you feel, the more frustrated, the more your heart desires the love, and yet you also know that you have this deep soul connection, and it's almost impossible to let go. So here's what to do. I'm going to share two different stories that I feel are archetypal of what does work and what doesn't. So these are women that I have worked with, and it's not only these two women, but I've worked with many women like these women. Their situations are all different. The first woman I'll share is a woman who did not get to be with her twin flame. The other woman did the right things that I'm going to teach you in this video so that she could manifest her twin flame union into 3D, not just 5D, which is lots of fun. Light is great. I love to live on light, but I'm also someone that believes that if we came here in a body, we incarnated to be here, we might as well make our lives beautiful and show up fully and not waste the time that we have here. The twin flame union isn't just fun and games, it's also aligning aspects of our own souls and showing our spirits within our bodies that we are in alignment. And yes, the epic sacred sexual union and the intimacy and the love and the feeling of home is a perk and benefit for sure. All right, so first I'm going to talk about Abby. Abby came to us in Bali in person, and she was actually mourning because her twin flame had just gotten married. And it wasn't to her. Well, actually, it had been to her. She had been married and had 5 children with this man. They had a deep, intense union, but because they had all these dark patterns and arguments and dysfunctions, and she had had an abusive childhood that she did not want to go and get help with in terms of getting counseling and working on the emotions. Instead, she focused only on manifestation and prayer, and she had a whole huge YouTube community, or maybe it was an online community of sorts for twin flames, and a lot of people following her and believing that if they just work the spiritual energy, they just meditate a little bit more, they just do activations and manifestations, then everything will work out. Now, anytime I would give her spiritual counseling on her emotions, on helping her to heal her early childhood traumas and wounds, she would go, no, I don't dig that. I'm here for the higher stuff, the lower stuff and the lower chakras. I'm not interested. Ultimately, my sense as a counselor was that she was not wanting to do that because there was a heavy amount of trauma, addiction, and family ancestral patterns that were going to trigger a lot of intense emotional instability. So we did our very best to encourage her slowly to chip away at her emotions, to work with a therapist, a guide, a counselor, and not just psychics, going from psychic to psychic or meditation or retreat to retreat. And unfortunately, she did not take this action. She just kept on hoping and praying and saying, I know he's coming, I know he's coming, I know he's coming, and I'm going to just keep going. Unfortunately, she's still in a situation where her ex-husband, this guy, is still married to another. I don't want this situation for you, so I'm going to share what will absolutely help you have an incredible happily ever after. And part of it is by learning what Abby wasn't willing to do. So from age 0 to 7, we form our root chakras, our lower chakras, our emotions, our psyches. Everything kind of builds from the ground on up. Our spirits, our eternal souls, they're always here. And there's a bond, a sacred alchemical union coming at the heart from our higher self, our eternal, everlasting soul, and our human self with all of its limitations, its early childhood wounds, our beliefs, our experiences that can impact us positively as well as negatively. So age 0 to 7, if we went through negative experiences, if we were the odd man or woman out or girl out in class, if we were the starseed that was too weird, or if we had a bully in the classroom, or if we had parents that were triggering or unwilling to see us as spirit or even abusive family. I work with a lot of clients that have to work through really intense blocks because they had either physical, emotional, verbal, psychic abuse that has gone on not only one generation, but many generations. And they say when it's beyond 3 generations, then it becomes systematic and the patterns have to be broken on very high levels, including psychic as well as emotional. So a lot of times you'll find, say, a woman obsessing over a partner who is unavailable because maybe he's married to someone else, or maybe he's constantly, or she'll have different men that she's attracted to at different times in her life. And she goes, gosh, they always cheat on me. And then we look at that and it's related to a specific pattern that went on not only with one or more parents, but also between the parents as well. Maybe he cheated on the wife or the wife cheated on the husband. And then that became the pattern for this child. And then she's looking for these unmet needs. And this cycle of unfulfilled, unmet needs keeps on going. So why I blend the psychological and the psychic, the spiritual, is because all of the rainbow of fruit flavor is embedded in our bodies, minds, and spirits. They are one. Both of my parents were graduates of MA programs. They were licensed counselors, masters in psychology, and they told me don't go down that path because it's quite stressful and it's hard to handle all the emotional pain of everybody. And I listened and I said, I want to take a stab at healing people's emotional pain, but my path ended up being the psychic path. And I ended up getting my PhD in transpersonal counseling metaphysics because I found that as many years as I would do therapy, I would find more and more pain and more problems. But when I found myself on the spiritual path and I was able to blend the two, I was like, woohoo, now we're getting somewhere. Now I'm clearing my past lives. Now I'm clearing my relationship with my ex-boyfriend. Now I'm healing my inner child. And it's quite interesting because even though I had a happy, healthy family on the outside, I still underwent a lot of different traumas that I've had to unearth. And some of them I remember, some of them are vague glimpses, but basically all of us hold wounds and traumas that need to be healed. And if we're holding them, then it's incredibly hard for us to have a happy, stable relationship, not only within ourselves, but especially with our twin flame. So if your twin flame is married to somebody else, there is likely a pattern where your inner child needs were not met. Your child, as a young child, your needs were not met on some level. There was abandonment, neglect, abuse, maybe spiritual abuse. Maybe there was someone not seeing you and someone telling you who you should be as a spirit. And so this creates a craving and it creates a cycle of addiction. There's the pain that's never healed. And so with that pain, we need to slap on the Band-Aid, the sugar, the sexual addiction, the twin flame obsession addiction. So we want to really work on clearing that out. And I will share a success story of a client of mine who was willing to do that. So Liz, who also came to Bali with us, she had fallen in love recently. Before coming on the retreat, she had fallen in love with an incredible man who was also married and had a child with someone else, and he was not available. He said, "You're great, I really feel a connection, but I don't think that we're meant to move forward. I'm in a relationship. It's not the timing." Darn. So she's coming to Bali and her goal is to be with her twin flame. She thinks it's probably him, but it was confusing because he said no. So she's like, I gotta let it go. So that is one of the biggest tips is, are you willing to let it go? And if not, why? Why is there a dogmatic attachment? Oftentimes I have unfortunately found that women and men who become very attached, almost with the severity of universe, do not ever let me not have this twin flame, even if they're married. This is the one. Don't even tell me that they're not the one. When there's that kind of level of attachment, there's usually an addiction or a trauma there. When we're able to let go and say, I'm definitely attached to this person. There's an incredible soul connection. I've never experienced anything like this. This is beyond cosmic and all the magic and synchronicities, but I'm also open to learning the lessons and healing myself and to healing the inner child wounding that has prevented us from being open, ready, and available for love. See, if you are manifesting and mirroring unavailable love, then it means, hey, there's something to look at in the mirror. What is it where I have the gas on one foot and the brakes on the other, saying, yes, universe, I'm open, I'm ready. Boom, bring me somebody who's not available. There's something there that we need to own and look at. And when we are pointing a finger and saying, well, they're in a bad relationship, they're in a bad marriage, it's even an abusive marriage, and I would be the healer and I would be so much better, and they should just leave that person and there's something wrong with them. Usually there's, hey, there's a wound here. Why are we operating that way? What was the blueprint as a child that got formed that's creating this looping of craving unavailable love? Because when we're in our twin flame sacred union, there's two aspects. One is we're fully available and ready for sacred love. We're like pulling it in. It's the feminine. We are ready and here for sacred love. And there's also this, I don't need it. I could totally live without this. I could be a nun. I could be happy with never having another lover. I could have multiple lovers. The world is my twin flame. You're my twin flame. I could go off and raise a bunch of orphans and be healed and free. That was what I told myself when I thought my twin flame was going to leave. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Guatemala, live with my brother, and I'm going to raise orphans instead of our plan of having children, which ended up happening. We ended up having children, getting back together, getting married, having children. But I was only able to do that because I completely surrendered and let go. And I did deep healing work, and I saw why I was pushing my partner away, why I was manifesting his unavailability. And I was willing to work with my guides, my healers, my therapists, getting professional support from relationship experts together with him. It's not by fluke that a twin flame union works. It takes work. It takes work within ourselves. And if we are trying to build the temple on a dysfunctional family grave of all this wounding generation after generation of divorced family members or cheaters or unhappy marriages, and we're like, we're going to just figure this out on our own, it can be really frustrating and hard, and the results can take really, really long time. Relationships are about coming together, and that's why I love seeing my clients and my students at Aphrodite University as my soulmate, my twin flame. We are all one, and we're so unique, and we each have our purposes, and coming together as a team to heal is so incredibly powerful. So after our retreat in Bali, Liz ended up going back home. And what happened in Bali that prepared her for this miracle is that in Bali, she did a deep spiritual water purification blessing. We went to the sacred springs, and she created a self-marriage, a twin flame self-marriage list of vows with our support. And it was almost like a releasing of all these blueprints and beliefs that were invisible. They're blind spots. And instead she was like, oh my gosh, this is my purpose. And she got super turned on. In fact, one night we went out and we were having dinner, and she was like, I am so turned on, like my hips want to shake. And so she started dancing, and we're actually in this hookah bar, and all the women started dancing. It became this like belly dance, erotic kind of like feminine energy. And all the guys were like, woo, what is happening? And she was so confident. And she ended up leaving Bali with a sacred item that she felt was a symbol of her divine masculine. She put it back on her altar when she arrived back in Los Angeles. And within days, this man came back into her life, asked her out on a date, said that he'd never met anyone like her. And all of a sudden he was just ready to be in a relationship. So now she's been in this union. They've been married for several years, and she's become a mom by co-parenting this beautiful boy that they raised together. So if you are ready to break through the fear, you're no longer willing to wait around and go, is he my twin flame, or what should I do? He's married. This is the block, the situation. And you're fed up. You're tired of draining your energy. Maybe you're literally sick of it, and your immune system has been shutting down because your heart isn't being fed. Well, then I have a next step for you. We are reopening our Bali retreat after the pandemic. 3 years have passed since we've run Retreat, Pray, Love Bali. It is one of the most favorite things in the world for me and now Jack. We've run 5 of these retreats. Well, I have run the first 2, and the last 3 he and I do together here in Bali. And this is a sacred union of your own soul so that you can manifest the sacred union that you desire, your twin flame. You will be coming into Ubud, Bali, staying at a beautiful Balinese health resort right on a river, just on the edge of town in a quiet area where you can meditate, relax. There's a raw food restaurant, a healing, healthy spa, and there's even a colonic service and a sauna and a jacuzzi and a swimming pool. All of these amenities right there. Actually, 2 swimming pools and rice field walks available just outside your doorstep. And it's so amazing to bring women from all over the planet to come together for this powerful twin flame activation. We'll be helping you clear away old blocks and wounds in a really fun and magical way. It's not your typical therapy or aura healing. It's something that it's almost hard to describe. The main thing is that women walk away with these beautiful activations, these ahas, and this unstoppable courage and power, knowing that they can manifest the very best for themselves. So we have a special one-time coupon code. We'll put it below that will help you shave off a lot of that money so you can save and have money to go shopping. Some extra shopping change here. Now, the thing is that we're only giving the early bird special until the end of this month. So take advantage. I hope to see you in Bali. I hope that you know how powerful you are as a goddess or god of love, that you can manifest your ultimate twin flame union despite any illusions, as did Liz, as did I, and so many of my amazing clients, fans, and students. We look forward to seeing you soon. Namaste. Namaskar.